we've got you.
Let me, I'm gonna back up my camera a little bit.
I'm feeling like we should put this in a stand or something.
You got both of us there?
Oh.
But
yeah, this is perfect.
No, we don't.
I was wondering. I thought the whole tripod was moving.
No, that's me.
Okay.
Well, let me get this up higher. Here, that might be a little better.
Now we've got optimal phone placement.
I like the idea of that. It's
that should be pretty good.
Does your phone have that little
Alright, cue intro.
Goes out so you can.
Yeah, there we go. In there.
Alright, we're good.
Okay, go ahead.
Start the show.
Start the show, Jeff.
Oh, are we rolling? Is this the beginning?
Yeah, you're on.
Hi, I'm Jeff Dodge, and this is the Peasant Revolution Band Variety Hour, coming to you live from Arizona. Actually, we got our guest host today, Mr. Scott Peterson, is sitting in for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Peasant Revolution Band Variety Hour.
Wife Cebula and I are in Arizona. Scott, can you say hi to the audience for us, please?
Yes, Jeff, I'm reluctantly here.
What do you have in store for us today?
That's a great question, Jeff.
You're breaking up. You know what? I'll tell you. Cebula and I came up with a song, and we're gonna go ahead and try that. Okay? If you got time for that, maybe Rich and Steve could figure it out while we're doing this. It's in key of F, a 1-5-4 type of thing, a very slow country thing, and I'll see if I can get this loud enough. I'm out here writing the new album, you know. The desert is beautiful. In my hour of darkness, in my time of need, oh Lord, grant me vision, oh Lord, grant me speed. Once I knew a young man when driving through the night. 9 miles
Fantastic performance. Hello, my name is Scott Peterson. I'm here filling in at the Peasant Revolution Band Variety Hour. Our fearless leader, of course, is on vacation, as you may have seen from the video, not here. He has left us alone in the studio with his cats. We have no idea what we're doing. I asked Rich to please come away from the drum set. Steve, of course, he's holding out. He's still holding down the bottom end there with the bass. Anyhow, we have missed Jeff, and it was nice that we finally got contact from him. He was missing. I apologize. The telephone is very hard to hold for that kind of performance. Is Jeff still with us? Oh, it appears. Oh, we still have Jeff. Jeff, are you with me still?
God, is that you?
Yes, Jeff. I'm sitting here on the couch with Rich Reece.
That's right.
Oh, Rich. I didn't know you were a guest today.
That's right.
How are you doing, Rich?
I'm great. I'm great. Oh.
How's the weather?
Oh, it's been outstanding. Today it was cloudy, but there wasn't really any real precipitation, although we did get a little mist out in Washington County. Tomorrow things are going to be clearing up a little bit, and
40% chance of shower type of days.
I would say less than a 40% chance of showers, and we're going to go to some real nice weather for Wednesday and Thursday, and then some rain will be rolling in for the weekend, so any plans you might have for doing some yard work, folks, maybe you better rethink those. Anyway, how's everything down in Arizona?
Technically speaking, we're in Navajo country.
Navajo country.
It's a nation unto itself.
Okay.
It's Navajo Nation.
So they didn't allow the Scottish people to come in and steal it?
I think I'm just Florida.
Oh. The Basque country, yes. The Scots and the Basques. But I understand we got to pay some bills here? Is that what I was...
Scott about the Scots.
I could, but he knows more about the Swedes.
I do know more about the Swedes.
But, yeah, so you're in sovereign Navajo. Oh.
I did learn that the Navajo word for Steve is Steve.
Oh, that's good to know.
Just in case you want to know that.
It's not... Okay, I can't think of anything else that wouldn't be racist. So
some hard consonant sounds that Steve works out to just
tremendous. Okay, well that's gonna, we're gonna make a meme out of that. And oh well, look at that. Yeah, you can see Jeff here.
We almost had it working. Okay, let's go ahead to commercial.
Oh, okay, tremendous. All right, well we're gonna go ahead and pay some bills here, folks. You are watching the Jeff Dodge program.
After 47 years, it's time to close Dot's Decorative Squash Store. We suffered through a disastrous squash crop this year, which made us realize it was time to hang it up. The good news is everything will be on sale 50% off. We have very little decorative squash for sure, but we still have books, gardening supplies, and more, all for sale. We're sad to be closing our doors, but as they say in the decorative squash business, all good things must come to an end. Hello, Dot's Decorative Squash. Dottie speaking.
Hi, I'm Jeff Dodge, and you're watching the Peasant Revolution Band Variety Hour. Yeah! Hi from Santa Fe.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at the Variety Hour, the Jeff Dodge Peasant Revolution Band Variety Hour. On the couch today we have Rich Reece, usually sitting behind the drum kit here.
That's right.
And today, without Jeff here, we decided just to have a nice casual conversation. You know, Jeff is quite an interesting musical entity. Now, over the years, you've played with a number of different musical groups. I could imagine that with your busy schedule, it must be tough finding all the time for all the musical groups that you work for.
Sure.
So what do you enjoy about playing in the Peasant Revolution Band, Rich?
Well, I like the fact that we never rehearse. That is helpful to me intellectually. It keeps things going. What else? I like, we used to do some Badfinger tunes, and that was pretty cool. And Jeff is usually open to some suggestions occasionally, and so we end up doing things like Share the Land, which I believe is the Guess Who.
I believe that's a Canadian group.
Right, Canadian. Yes. That song actually banned in the South because of its socialist overtones.
I could see that. Some of these Canadian artists are influenced heavily by socialism, from what I understand.
Yeah, I think they live by it, you could say. But, I just like coming over here, hanging out with Steve. Steve's a cool cat. He's from the Kenton neighborhood. He lives over on the sort of north plains of Kenton, over on the west side.
On the west side. Now, would that be out? So not like in the Denver area. You're saying more of the west side.
Denver's kind of the dividing
like Portsmouth.
street.
Like is that still considered?
No, not quite.
Is that considered?
Is
that
more of a Chautauqua kind of guy? Right?
A Chautauqua. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a fine street. I understand David, our cameraman here, a big creative force in the Peasant Revolution Band Variety Hour. He's also a resident of the Kenton neighborhood as well.
I occasionally see him at about 6:15 in the morning. He's right over by the Max station. So when I'm rushing out to the Max, we'll run into David Craig over there.
That's the nice thing about the Kenton neighborhood. Now, if I'm not mistaken, though, I think I may have had a couple of opportunities to live in that neighborhood. In my life, I've bounced around a little bit in the Portland metro area.
Sure.
And I would say that Kenton, before the Max came, I remember it was a much darker neighborhood than it was very gloomy when you look at places like the Kenton Bar, the kind of
sure, the Kenton Club.
Thank you.
The Kenton Club,
world famous Kenton Club. I understand.
Yes. Yeah, I actually got paid to stop singing at karaoke there one night.
How much did they pay you to stop?
It was $1, and back then you could get like a Pabst for $1. So I was like, okay, and so I sat the mic down.
That's you just made me think about the Kenton Club, and I want to say in the early aughts. Is that I'm trying to think. The Max came into the Kenton about 2003, 2004.
May 5th, 2004 was the grand opening.
Oh, and I do recall an event that we did have to work. Yeah, we did some sound there. There was the very famous TriMet trying to shut down the Dancing Bear.
Right. Yeah.
Because of the station up there at the end of Interstate, if I'm not mistaken.
It's still there. You can still see the dancers out smoking when you're waiting for the Max. In the winter, sometimes they have overcoats.
Oh yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Catch a little ankle though.
You made me recall that day of the Max opening, and there was a big political struggle, if I'm not mistaken, that TriMet did try to shut down and take that real estate over for their station.
Yeah, they couldn't use eminent domain on that. I mean, they were able to get some other space. In fact, some of the other property that they purchased is now being used for that homeless women's shelter of little tiny houses up there.
Yes, that's a very, very revolutionary situation for getting the homeless getting off the streets. That's very interesting.
A third of the neighborhood opposed it, but they can go fuck themselves because they're.
I understand that over a third of the Kenton neighborhood complains about the noise from PIR, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, they can also go get themselves squarely and soundly fucked.
I'll take that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll bet the same people would have complained about the noise from Vanport.
Well, I mean, who doesn't?
Right. Probably would have complained about all those people walking up the street after the floods came through, or whatever. So
That's very, very good times.
yeah. So, but yeah, no, good little neighborhood. I remember
Great neighborhood.
You were up there in '02 when there was nothing going on. I think you were there the time I got pulled over for driving drunk, but then they let me go.
That would be when the construction of the Max was happening, you did a diagonal turn
Yeah.
off of Interstate.
Went the wrong direction for about 60 feet, all while going about 40 in second gear. And
That's high RPMs.
yeah, that's what I like the noise. You have a couple of drinks, and it's like, oh, that sounds super cool. And the cops, they I don't remember what the deal was, but I was speaking to them in the military alphabet, and they loved that. And so they let me take my beer and go inside.
When you say military alphabet, is that like Niner, Fiver?
Alpha, Bravo, Niner. Niner is one of them. You might say Fife instead of Five, although that's very specific. Whiskey.
Whiskey is what number is that?
That's W. V is Victor.
Oh, copy that. I got you now. Now I'm understanding it. I understand that the police use that in conversation on their radios on a daily basis.
Right. Well, they actually have their own. And so what you do, if you're a pilot or a military person and you get pulled over drunk, you just start talking to them about the difference between the alphabets. And for some reason, that kept me out of jail for a lengthy alcohol career.
I've always had. I'm glad to hear that you no longer have your alcohol career going for you. How many years of non-alcohol use?
9.5 years.
Well, my goodness, you're approaching a dime. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna get wasted in celebration. And
at this time, I think we should probably go to another commercial. Yeah, we'll get Jeff is going to work on the show for us. So let's go ahead to an ad now.
Now, I got to tell you, I do love my Safford Brothers Downtown Blend Taste of the City coffee. So, you want to call me a celebrity? Fine. I never wanted to be a celebrity. To me, it's an incredible hassle. I'd rather be anonymous, even though I might try to get up in front of a bunch of people and become famous, because I guess when you're famous, they give you stuff like coffee. But hey, I earned this. I'm working hard here because I love Safford Brothers Downtown Blend Taste of the City coffee, okay? I love it so much that I'm drinking it right now in the middle of this commercial. It's delicious. And so, try it. You will love it too.
Hi, this is David Crosby of the Birds. You're watching the Peasant Revolution Band Variety Hour with host Scott Peterson. Yeah, man.
Here we are at the Peasant Revolution Band Variety Hour. You may be noticing that I am not Jeff Dodge. I've been mistaken as Jeff over the years with his working for his father. I definitely am a part of the Dodge family. It's a little frustrating because, of course, like the technology, and if you've watched any of the other shows, obviously it's a little off the cuff. Today it's a little bit more off the cuff than it usually is. Today we're spending a little bit of time with Rich Reece, one of the unspoken heroes here at the old Peasant Revolution Band Variety Hour. And usually, Jeff keeps him on a pretty short leash, and it's kind of nice to have you out and to hear your voice, because a lot of times when Jeff has you speaking, it seems that the audio is not even on you, like you're just there as a prop.
Well, yeah, and part of that I think is because Jeff and I being different ages. We did some of our academic matriculation at different times. And he comes from a little more of a conservative background than I do.
I could see that.
Sometimes he just doesn't, he doesn't want to hear my Marxist interpretation of whatever happens to be going on. Jeff just wants to get the flag out and, just start waving it around.
Well,
There's a pile of guns over there.
well,
They probably took him to Arizona with them.
well, he did have the anger issues.
Right.
It started out as the road rage incident, which of course unfolded a little bit differently. I don't know if he still legally owns guns at this time.
I didn't say legally.
Oh, was not prepared for that.
I know some. I know a bunch of pilots again now, so we're on a whole other side of the world. But it's good to talk a little bit here. I got poached into this band. I was playing for Sonny and Cher, and everybody thought, that guy's he's really in the pocket, and Peasant Revolution band's a funky affair. They could use somebody like that, and I was very flattered.
That's very interesting that you brought up the Sonny and Cher. I've always kind of thought as Jeff as a Sonny kind of character,
right.
Without the politics, of course.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Jeff's not that conservative. But he is equally anti-drug to both Sonny and Cher. And I think that's pretty clear if you spend any time in this house, that any hanky-panky going around here with any of that jazz cabbage or anything like that, that's completely...
The jazz cabbage, that's a new slang. I've never heard that one, actually.
I picked that one up out at the airport the other day from
a pilot.
From a pilot, a bunch of kids who've never done nothing. It's kind of funny, but you can't, if you're at the airport, just don't tell anybody you were actually born in Eugene, because...
And then, of course, you go to see Grateful Dead concerts in 1992 at Autzen Stadium.
That was.
Well,
that ain't me, babe.
Damn. I didn't realize we were going to be going there.
No, I was just trying to tie it all
so exactly how many years were you with Sonny and Cher?
72 to 2013, I think, was when I got pulled over for this one. And, of course, Sonny passed away in 1999. Formerly anti-drug, of course. He was taking 60 Vicodin a day when he skied into that tree.
God bless him.
Yeah, I love all conservative congressmen. Anyways, but yeah, so Jeff pulled me over for this thing, and the pay is close. The pay is close. Close enough to make it worthwhile to me. So we just have a fine time down here. You couldn't do it without Steve.
Well, Steve is definitely the anchor of the group. There's a lot of history there with Jeff and Steve. I'm very, very saddened, though. I cannot crack the shell. I cannot make Steve talk, and then it's okay. I understand. I just hope he's not angry with me. I would like to be able to include him in the interviews, but it appears that he prefers to work with Jeff.
Well, I mean, what happens is you don't make it through high school in Southeast Portland in the late 80s without knowing how to keep your mouth shut. And these are Central Catholic guys through and through. Class of
Steve, were you a Central Catholic guy as well?
Oh, yes, this is true.
He actually spoke. That's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if he was a part of Jeff's political agenda in Central Catholic.
And way far right stuff back then. I mean, he was in the Students for Pat Buchanan Club and just all kinds of. He was looking at Reagan and he said, Reagan, that guy's a hippie. We can't tolerate it. I like this Buchanan character. He doesn't even drive domestic cars, but he's waving the flag all over the place and doesn't care about freedom of speech, even though he comes from the communications background. So that was Jeff's kind of guy. And
where does Dan Quayle fit in all this?
Well, you see, the real righties, like what Jeff was a part of back then, like the John Birch Society and stuff like that, they didn't even acknowledge Quayle. They knew Quayle was he was just a patsy. He was just a placeholder. He was there.
He certainly looked good.
Oh, yeah, no, he was a nice, young, dynamic cat. You put him up next to George H.W. Yeah, and he brought a lot of vitality, I would say, to the party at the time. And what a great period, too. all kinds of great things happen for this country. But hair metal really make it to the surface, and absolutely zero literature happening anywhere except, of course, for Updike's Rabbit at Rest. Anyways, the point is, I'm absolutely flattered to be a part of the organization here. And I'm so glad I had all those years with Sonny and Cher kind of preparing for this organization.
Well, the neuroses, I would imagine, have prepared you to be able to deal with Jeff's, how would you say it, like phases or mood?
Spells?
With spells. I didn't want to say mood swings, but it certainly can be a roller coaster ride when you're in the creative process with Jeff, I've been.
Yeah, and he makes it look that way, but he's really just a straight-ahead, God-fearing, all-American kind of guy. I mean, that's in my experience, at least. He's always on time. He knows exactly what he's going to say, and
Every time he always says the right thing.
Man of his word, and he's dead set on killing healthcare right now. And I say to that is God bless him.
Absolutely. And on that moment, we'll take a little break right now. Once again, this is Scott Peterson for the Jeff Dodge Peasant Revolution Band Variety Hour. I'd like to thank you for stopping in. I apologize for not having Jeff here with us today, but we're doing the best we can. And he's on vacation. He's with his wife. He's safe. We're very pleased, and we'll be right back.
Celebrity, it's got to be somebody in a cubicle over there at Entertainment Weekly, and you know what? I bet on his coffee break he drinks Safford Brothers Downtown Blend Taste of the City coffee because that keeps you going when you got to compile these lists and you got to figure out who these celebrities are. And let me tell you something, I told you, celebrity is not all it's cracked up to be, okay? But you know what? If I can do an endorsement for Safford Brothers, Downtown Blend, Taste of the City coffee, then that makes it all worth it.
Hi, you're watching the Peasant Revolution Band Variety Hour with your host, Scott Peterson. Yay!
Hi there. Scott Peterson for the Peasant Revolution Band Variety Hour. If you notice today, I am not Jeff Dodge. I'm here because Jeff is not present today. Right now we're taking some time, just doing a simple interview with his trusty drummer, formerly of Sonny and Cher fame, Reece.
Hey, thanks, Scott. Nice introduction there, and what a pleasant time we are having with the interview this evening. We haven't had a chance to sit down and talk like this for a while.
Yeah, it's a very special time. Over the years, I've been a big fan of the Reece family.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's not all just sea lions and fighting. It's there's a lot of love there too.
How is Ratso doing? Is he still with us?
Oh yeah, he's back in St. Louis. We're trying to get him into a house. You can buy a house back there for about $70,000. So even a horn player can own a house in St. Louis.
He definitely one of the more interesting characters in the family.
I would say so. Yeah. He's a strange cat. He came out here in the late '60s initially and was hanging out in Eugene. He went to what they called the Renaissance Fair at the time and witnessed his father giving his grandmother acid in about 1969. And
well, it was a very popular pastime in the late '60s, I understand.
Yeah.
You may have. I really didn't want to talk about generations today.
Oh, sure.
Because one of the things about the Peasant Revolution Band Variety Hour that makes me a little crazy in the head, I'd like to point out I am one of the few viewers that the show has actually had in the live broadcast. I know that I've been on the chat with a guest's wife one time when there was an audio issue a couple episodes ago. And we had a nice conversation. She was a very nice person. So I guess the show actually kind of has enlightened me a bit, or at least allowed me to connect with other people who I never would have crossed paths with. So I guess I have to be thankful of the show. So.
Jeff is good at bringing people together. And
see, when you say that, I think sometimes, like we've talked about some of his politics,
right.
he tends to kind of alienate some people, I've been noticing, mostly in traffic.
Certainly there's going to be a lot of truth to that, but he really does mean well. He just loves the country, and he loves just basic generic U.S. history so much that
when you say generic history, does that involve Pizzagate?
Well, no, that's what Jeff can tell you all about Pizzagate. It's because he doesn't spend a moment listening to that lamestream media.
Oh, that was very good. See, you should be out on the other side of your drum kit more often.
Working on it, yeah. It's just it's not my show, so I don't want to steal all the thunder. I'm trying to remember where I heard that phrase first, but I just figured we'll let Jeff do the Jeff show, and I'll stay back there and keep things funky. But I appreciate you bringing me out here.
Well,
I understand you've got some big plans for the morning.
The morning.
Yeah.
Yes. I right now we're sitting at a little bit before 10 p.m. On this Monday night, and yes, I still have to. When the show is finished this evening, I have to see my girlfriend.
Okay.
I have to do laundry, and I somehow have to be at the airport by 7 a.m.
Okay. We can make that happen.
I think it can happen. It'd be nice to get a couple hours of sleep in there. I am going to Arkansas.
Okay.
I've never been to Arkansas before. What do you know about Arkansas, Rich?
Home of Bill Clinton. I think we all knew that.
It is Clinton country.
It is Clinton country. Just read the Richard Ford biography of his parents who were from Arkansas, and it sounds like kind of a funky place if you really want to dig deep into the urban-rural migration. I mean, people were literally sort of in the 20s, 30s back then, literally coming out of the hills and working their way into urbanized life at the time. Automobiles were a very new thing. A lot of the day-to-day household goods that we commonly use now, a lot of that stuff was brand new. It was a very exciting time, and Arkansas was really kind of place where that would happen. You didn't have huge cities, but you weren't a million miles away from New Orleans to the south, and of course St. Louis and other places to the north. So it sounds like it was interesting back then. I don't know what it's like now. They had a school shooting about 19 and a half years ago. It barely preceded, of course, the Thurston shooting that we all know.
Oh yeah. I just realized I don't know anything about Arkansas.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's a very big state. I looked at it on the map today. It's a pretty small.
It's not huge. Let's take a look at the.
Yeah, what do we got for a population of Little Rock? Porn is not necessarily a good thing to have on a broadcast of a TV show, and also too,
almost 3 million people.
They got 3 million. Is that Arkansas entirely?
Yeah. So 2.988 million. So if you took that amount and then added in the population of St. John's, that would give you an even 3 million right there.
Well, that's really something. That's so now I have that. That's a good thing. I also understand it's the home of Murphy's Oil Soap.
Okay.
And they also have at least a Walmart as well, I've discovered.
one can assume, there was the Walmart thing. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's all.
They have those superstore. Are they based out of? They're based out of Arkansas.
Yeah.
Oh well, that makes perfect sense then.
You got to watch out for those Walton kids, by the way. One of them is an awful drunk who has killed people in accidents and gets away with it because he's a multi-billionaire responsible for the employment of several 100,000 people across the country.
I understand that their benefits are kind of sketchy there at the old Walmart.
I was talking to my friend Aaron Smith recently about this. He's a self-hating alcoholic, kind of at the same time I was, but he took the self-hatred a little farther, he's a teacher, special ed teacher, made himself work at a Walmart over Christmas break one year. and has lots of insights about how they do their scheduling to keep people under 30 or 32 hours so they don't actually have to pay for their health insurance.
Well, isn't that really awful?
Well, Jeff Dodge would say that is their right as an American employer to do that.
But Jeff's not here, Rich.
I gotta quit speaking for Jeff, of course.
Well, that certainly was an interesting segment here at the Peasant Revolution Band Variety Hour. Let's go right on back to one of those fantastic ads that we have.
After 47 years, it's time to close Dot's Decorative Squash Store. We suffered through a disastrous squash crop this year, which made us realize it was time to hang it up. The good news is everything will be on sale 50% off. We have very little decorative squash for sure, but we still have books, gardening supplies, and more, all for sale. We're sad to be closing our doors, but as they say in the decorative squash business, all good things must come to an end. Hello, Dot's Decorative Squash. Dottie speaking.
You know, I don't know where Jeff Dodge is, but, I mean, how hard can the guy work? He does one show a month. But you know what? I know the dude has a secret, and his secret is Safford Brothers Coffee, the downtown blend tastes the city. The dude is running on it. He's gotta be. He's got so much else going on. He's always working. He's never around. He's on vacation, so he deserves a break. It's wonderful, it's great, but the show's gonna go on, I guess. But I got news for you. The dude is drinking Safford Brothers Downtown Blend, Taste the City. 3 o'clock, what is he doing? He's pouring himself a cup of coffee. He's loving it. And I got news for you. I love it too. Safford Brothers Downtown Blend, Taste the City coffee is the best.
After 47 years, it's time to close Dot's Decorative Squash Store. We suffered through a disastrous squash crop this year, which made us realize it was time to hang it up. The good news is everything will be on sale 50% off. We have very little decorative squash for sure, but we still have books, gardening supplies, and more, all for sale. We're sad to be closing our doors, but as they say in the decorative squash business, all good things must come to an end. Hello, Dot's Decorative Squash. Dottie speaking.
Actually, we're here for another segment at the old TV show here on the internet. Working on some different shots. I'm trying to figure out what we should talk about, but I'm not politically charged. I'm thinking we'll get there. That's the thing we're gonna do. I'm not quite prepared to walk away from the show yet, but it's getting very close. Very close. The camera just fell down on me. What should we go on now?
Oh God, I don't even know.
I don't even know either. Maybe we should just get some Lego Jeff shots and just give Jeff that. We'll give him a good 10 minutes of that. Okay, everyone be really quiet. Really quiet. Really, really quiet.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
I have some audio that can go along with this too. I do. It'll be great. where it came from. That was custom built from other bits and other kits. I believe the guitar belonged to a mariachi and the hair belonged to a vampire. Okay, here's the bitchin' audio I got. There's 24 seconds of it. It's going to be wonderful.
Hey fellas, I'm really lost. I'm looking for some cats. Steven Stills and Neil Young. You guys know them by chance? I'm David. How you doing?
That'll make Jeff really happy that he knows that I did not delete that video. I think I'm satisfied with this, except for we need some music shots. And Jeff's going to have to butcher this up, so...
Yeah, that's right. I'm doing a celebrity endorsement now. I gotta tell you, I do love my Safford Brothers Downtown Blend Taste of the City coffee. So, you wanna call me a celebrity? Fine. I never wanted to be a celebrity. To me, it's an incredible hassle. I'd rather be anonymous, you know, even though I might try to get up in front of a bunch of people and become famous, because I guess when you're famous, they give you stuff like coffee. But hey, I earned this. I'm working hard here because I love Safford Brothers Downtown Blend Taste of the City coffee, okay? I love it so much that I'm drinking it right now in the middle of this commercial. And it's delicious. And so, try it. You will love it too.
I kind of liked it on the floor. That was good. Oh, we're on. Hey, we have another musical video performance of the Peasant Revolution Band. I believe that's Bobby Caesar, if I'm not mistaken, doing the vocals. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dead Flowers.
You're sitting there in your silver poster chair, talking to silver. Oh, when you're sitting there in your silver poster chair, talking to some rich folk that you know. Well,
So I don't know. Why am I not a celebrity? I mean, am I like, some kind of D-list celebrity maybe? I don't even know what this list is. I don't know who's, compiling this list, who's trying to figure out who's more of a celebrity, It's got to be somebody in a cubicle over there at Entertainment Weekly, And you know what? I bet on his coffee break, he drinks Safford Brothers Downtown Blend, Taste of the City coffee, because, that keeps you going. When you got to compile these lists and you got to figure out who these celebrities are. And let me tell you something. I told you, celebrity is not all it's cracked up to be, okay? But you know what? If I could do an endorsement for Safford Brothers Downtown Blend, Taste of the City coffee, then that makes it all worth it.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're rolling. I'm interviewing Nad Gomez on the, and we're on the middle of the log. Here at Knott's Berry Farm. I'm here with my old roommate Dan Chuck, and we see our old roommate Brad Brandt has joined us too. Hi, Brad. Riding the Bigfoot Rapids. No Bigfoot yet. Cebula has been drenched. Yeah. I've been drenched. I think my nipples are starting to show. Whoa.